Welcome everyone to Perfect Read episode number 10. We're hitting the double digits and we have, well, I thought it was a very special guest until I found out, FrosT, that you've basically been on every Valorant podcast on the planet in the past, I don't know, 10 days. So how have you been? Anything else we haven't heard from all those other podcasts that you want to share with us about how your switch up has been?
There's actually a couple more I'm on too.
Oh,
Listen to 'em.
really?
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of like the Valtor one was booked before the drama. As a matter of fact,
Oh.
it was supposed to be me and Yudoton way back when,
Oh.
and then we delayed it till post, and then we did the spike talk because I kept
Well,
people kept telling me, hey man, you need to control the narrative because of your reputation. So I was like, all right, whatever. And then some of the other, it's just everybody likes the drama, so they just
yeah.
yo, you busy? I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, we good. So we in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty loud couple weeks, I think, within the Valorant Pacific community. So everyone's had their hands occupied. But BigTime and Komodo, how are you? BigTime, you okay in there? Whatever room you're in.
Yeah, I'm surviving. I'm here in Korea now, ready for
South
for
Korea,
stage
right?
two.
I feel
Yeah.
like we need to clarify with the background.
Especially right now, yeah.
I don't know about that. He looks like he's in jail, bro.
It
All I hear is
doesn't look-
Akon in my head.
I'm telling you,
Locked up.
this
They won't
this
let
this one
me
is a
out.
good Airbnb. As far as
I
they
don't
go,
know about that,
this
bro.
is
That
good.
shit looks like.
Oh no, we
What's
had
the-
some
what's the game?
shockers.
Oh, hold on. There's
Oh,
like
boy.
a game. There's like a horror game that people play. Outlast
Oh,
Trials. I
Outlast,
think
yeah,
Outlast.
yeah.
You're like in an Outlaws map, bro. You're in a trial map right now.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Outside
gosh.
of the weird setting, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Ready
Yeah,
for some,
right on. Right
ready
on.
for stage 2 to start, man.
Yeah, Komodo, how
good.
about you?
I'm going good. Normally life is treating me okay. Work has been very interesting, stepping up lately, and actually, like, there's a tangent parallel where I'm working on something for my day job that is involving esports in it for a platform
Oh.
demonstration. So I've like uplifted my own personal project to demo.
Nice.
So I'm kind of happy with that. So
That's good. Yeah, it's always nice when you can tie it together.
Respect.
Well, cool. Listen, obviously we've heard plenty about the actual drama and whatnot. Everyone's had their fill, but overall, FrosT, just how has it been coming back to, well, not full sense, I guess, as a brand, but coming back to your Thai boys here?
After the very first scrim, VOD review, where I'm cooking Jit and Crew's ass, Jit later on is like, Hector, you don't change. And everyone just starts laughing. It's felt the same. Like it literally felt like nothing happened. This whole year didn't happen, and it's the same.
Awesome.
Literally,
But
doesn't
does
feel like
that
anything's changed?
has that made it in your eyes like smoother since now everyone's kind of aware, like since you've gone through that of getting used to each other, some of the language barrier, although I'm sure they've been working on their English a little bit.
I will say that the time apart made it easier to deal with issues
Oh,
like comps, and like ideas that I know work. I will say beating them also helps because now it's like, now you can share with them like, here's how I game planned against you, and here's what I thought,
yeah.
and here's what I did, and then they go, oh, that easy, huh? I'm like, yeah, actually. So it's kind of nice because sometimes you get caught up with, like, imagine me and you, for instance, Chobra.
sure.
You remember when I told you like no, actually longer than 6 weeks ago. I don't know. Maybe it was 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months. Oh my God. Maybe it was like 4 months ago where I told you, I know how I'm going to counter Neon Phoenix,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yep.
I told you way before.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened?
Yep.
Easy work, right?
Yep.
Okay, yes, I know we choked 8,
Sure.
in London, but if you look at it, we should have the best defense in the world at one point in this year, and all of VCT was us.
Mm-hmm.
We were 8-4 on that half. In theory, you would think, right?
Yeah.
And I did it with an agent. The
Right.
reason I bring this up is because even with me and you, we're like, I've known you a long time, right? Like, you were at an ESL event in 2015 commentating on, when I'm.
Yeah.
So if I tell you stuff, we have like mutual respect, and you have like the
Sure.
knowledge of knowing that like I'm not just saying random stuff, but you will still look at me like, oh, really? Because remember that conversation, you were like, really? You think it's that easy? It's like, yes, bro. Yes, right?
Right.
The same thing applies here, because it's not just the history and it's not just the games. Now it's like, oh, I played you, I beat you. So now, like, when you're with people and you've never worked in that capacity, you kind of don't know. So sometimes it's like, and I don't mean this in any way as if you offended me at all. You did not. Like, me and you were friends. So like that, I understand your hesitation with like, you really think it's gonna be that easy? But with them, it's a little different now, because like real life tangible evidence of like a guy that was your coach that you sometimes argue like, oh, this guy's trash, right? Like inwardly joking, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh no, I don't like this. But then he beats you.
Right.
Technically, I'm the last guy to beat them.
Right.
So now I'm here fresh, and now it's less of like, that shit's trash, and more of like, that never happened before. If I'm putting them on, if I'm saying stuff or I'm doing stuff they didn't like, they were just like, nah, bro, we ain't doing that. I want to be like PRX, or I want to run this, I want to run that. Now, before I get the argument, now they're like, way different.
So do you feel
Way
more
different.
confident in the team now than you did like with this same group last year?
Yes, this is the best version of Talon ever.
Okay.
And a lot has to do with Sephiroth, because he's
Ooh.
probably, I mean, I guess Primmie in terms of skill. But if you think of like, even when we picked up Primmie in 2024, Sephiroth is more game ready, because if you think about it, he's played against Sentinels and Fnatic from the Soup Leagues.
Yep.
So he wasn't like a rookie. He's played against some of these guys. He was just waiting. So he's like, you know, on like a different level in terms of like, oh, this is a standard rookie coming in. No, this guy actually played some really good teams
Well, he
Right.
beat
once he
Talon.
qualified for that Super League.
Like,
Oh, okay. We're not bringing that up. He brings that up enough.
I mean,
Actually, he brings that up enough.
That's so funny, man.
We're not doing that right now.
Nah,
I
no,
already
no.
have
It's
enough
like-
of this shit here, bro.
because I cover like a lot of the SEA stuff.
I know, I'm
I've
fucking
covered
around.
him for ages, right? Like when he was
Yeah.
back on Myth, when he went in full sense and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. He was like the
Yeah.
guy that was always just like level-headed, clutch player, waiting in the wings, a player that I could see like moving into this roster as the Cruz replacement. That's like my vision for the future, essentially, on what my thoughts were like looking for this roster when he
Wow.
was announced as like substitute, for example, right? That's what I was like trying to think about there. So he's definitely one of the players that I'm like, he's next up. And now a lot of these players that are coming through, like 555 and Sharper, like next scouting talent for Thailand. It's like, if Cruz
Right.
does decide to retire, my thoughts were looking from an outside view. It's like Sephiroth is the guy for the Cruz replacement. Roles are a bit different, but I think he slots in. And then you look to do a really strong like Cruz fill from one of those rosters or something. That's like,
I mean, that's
Take a
what.
bow.
Yeah.
Take a bow, because I got to tell you, before I got it, that's literally what Cruz said.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what Cruz
And
had
I
said.
know you don't
yeah.
talk to Cruz. Like, I know you don't know him like that.
no.
Verbatim, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah, that's
So,
he had.
about Sephiroth. Yeah.
Yeah, because he had said that when I asked him about it too, because he was like, well, the original goal would be that
Yeah.
like Sephiroth is eventually going to be the guy that takes whatever kind of positions I'm taking. But it's to me, so I know a lot of us ranked who watched any SEA in Thailand before ranked Sephiroth pretty high. But I'm a little surprised, and I don't know how you feel about this, Komodo, that you're saying you kind of expect him similar to Primmie level of skill. Because I always thought Primmie was still just a pretty clear cut above anybody else coming up. I mean, Komodo, is that how high you would have placed him before we were talking to FrosT today?
I don't know if I would have put Sephiroth as a Primmie level, because they're very different in terms of what they bring to a team. Alongside each other, they're going to be crazy. I would still probably like put Primmie above in terms of experience now, and I think that would probably just be maybe the decisive factor for me, because he's proven time and time again, whether it be in his Ascension qualifier grand finals or in Ascension, that he can still deliver like regardless of pressure. I think it's just that experience for him to settle in and really be comfortable with this roster will let him like equalize Primmie.
I know people get disrespectful, or sorry, they feel disrespected when you start talking about skill, and I just think people are just dumb. Like, I think like our egos are like insane, because like if you say something about a player, oh, this player is better than you, people get butthurt and stuff.
Sure.
But it's like, especially with coaches, you guys know this. I don't really talk about what coach is better than me, or I don't get mad when people say like everybody is
Yeah.
better than me until it's time to be better than me. So for
Sure,
me, I don't
yeah.
get like that conversation to me doesn't even. I will just say I don't think skill wise, Sefrioth, that is where I would put him. Sefrioth to me is more Autumn. Like
Okay.
he's Autumn, younger and Ty. He can play almost any agent I put him on.
Uh-huh.
Because this is what I've been experimenting with him with. I can put him on anything, almost anything. I've had him on op rolls. I've had him on smokes. I've had him
Really?
on any. I've been testing everything I can
Okay.
with him. To me, he's more like Kale. Same temperament, good team player. Like really, if there was anyone, I wouldn't even compare him to a Thai player because I've never had a Thai player like this. That's why I had to go get Governor and Ban.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You
Yeah.
That
know?
makes sense.
And this is like not trying to be like rude or especially like I don't want to sound like I'm discriminating against a group of people, but most Thai players are more like blue lock. It's
Oh,
more
okay,
like
yeah.
the disease of me is real. Everything is
Sure.
about their game, their stats, their comfort.
There you got to be the star
Kale,
player.
for instance,
Yeah.
Kale can be a star. Autumn can also be the ultimate team player. Autumn can flex roles for you if he thinks someone is better and he knows someone is better at something.
Right.
Like what happened this year with Yudo, right? Yudo, we needed a neon, and Pat was like kind of struggling, or not struggling, but like he didn't want to play as many roles. So we like then honed in on specific things for Pat. And then that's why you saw Autumn on like Viper, and then Autumn on this, and Autumn
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
more like Autumn was like, "Oh, guys, that's fine. I played one agent all the kickoff. It's okay. I could sacrifice now, and I can do the thing for all of you guys. Don't worry about it. Like it's cool."
Ah.
Yeah,
That's Sephiroth.
I love-
Sephiroth is like the glue guy.
Yeah.
I love those flexible players. They make everything
Yeah.
so much better in those team environments because it means you have so many options now in the style you want to play. If you want to play the counter
Right.
Neon Phoenix, you can. If you want to play it, you can. If you want to
Right.
like those
Yep.
kind of players really are like they're often the most unsung heroes of every team, and they're
For
not
sure.
the name that will come
Yeah.
up.
100%. Yep. And he's young and he's a rookie, so I think for him it's more like stage presence because I think with Leviathan, and this is not me obviously being out of pocket or talking in ways I shouldn't, but Leviathan is every bit. Me and Cruz really, especially looking from the outside in, we really thought he was the one.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
He is very talented. The issue was stage presence. And now when you go back to the Fnatic games and all that stuff, that's
Yeah.
what makes Sephiroth now the choice is because we're needing to lock in for champs now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see our group. You see how much these things matter now.
Yep.
We need someone ready to be thrown in the fire.
Right. And
Yeah.
battle
We
through
can't
it.
baby anyone anymore.
Yeah.
So
It's,
I think Lev was more development, and now we're hoping that Sephiroth doesn't need the development. He can
Right.
be an impact player now.
Yeah. Makes
That's
sense.
the goal, I guess.
Because it's a very interesting thing for Full Sense now as well, given like 7 points for champions. T1's at 10 and Nongshim's at 12, so every
close.
game matters. Like getting into playoffs deep is gonna matter. If one of these teams drops down into these play-ins, will they get shaken up by another team and
Right.
like one of the 4 play-in
Yeah.
challenger
Point
teams?
system is so
It's
troll.
gonna be very very brutal this stage, and very like every game kind of matters to a degree in this one.
100%.
Which is
And
is
in
wild.
ours, it's addition by subtraction because basically every time we play RQ and GE,
Yep.
those games matter. It's
They
double
matter.
the points, really.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because
yeah,
it's
'cause
2 point
they go
difference.
down.
Keep a point away, right?
Yep.
Because it's like you guys
So-
would want like Paper X is auto qualled, but you'd still want like a Paper X or a Nongshim or a T1 to be first and
Yeah.
second. So you guys like just in case
Right.
have that safety net.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad Nongshim is in our group because if we do it, last time it came down to us being, who's going to be last in the group, basically 2
Right.
and 3 or 3 and 2,
Yeah.
and we were above them. And then they, from the losers' side, they had a hard time getting out.
Yeah.
If we can
Yeah.
do something like that again, obviously we're going to need help because we're going to need RQ and GE to beat them.
Sure. Sure.
But if we can, and if Gen G can sneak a win here, Nongshim is in a situation where if they lose to us and they don't have the same season, because now instead of playing them
Yeah.
last, we play them first.
yeah.
Yeah.
If
you can
they
set the
end
bar,
up
yeah.
going and playing and getting out in early, or if they get out early,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
easily can take the point spot, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because the points are doubled now on the top
Yeah.
side. I think it was like fourth place got 2 points, third place got 3, and stuff like
I've
that.
got it
Now
up.
it's like 4 points, 6 points, 8 points. It's like crazy now.
Yeah. So
Yeah, eight points for first, 6 points for second, 5 for third,
Yeah.
4 for fourth,
Right.
and then every group stage match is a
So
singular point.
it's so many
Yep.
more points. So
Yeah.
if we can get the first seed, which obviously I always try, I just have the unfortunate task of playing Paper X in my groups, and I'm 4-1, but I'm second place. Or I'm in a 4-way tie for first place, like what happened, I think, season 1 last year.
Season 1, yeah.
Because we're, well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we had a family death with one of our
Yes,
players, and it
yes.
resulted in but then we end up in a situation like that, right? So hopefully we can get the job done this time. There's no excuse of having to go through Paper X as many times
Yeah.
as we do. So if we
Yeah.
can, great. If not, it's going to be my fault. So
yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not excited that we as Nongshim were playing you guys early on, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
The record is still in your favor, Frost. A lot.
it is
a
true.
lot.
However, as I proved with Paper X, I got him at least once. It's hard to keep doing it.
No, true.
I know Alex seems to be mopping me up, and
True.
he can thank Devi and Ilya for this. But
Yeah, no, that's true. At some
you
point,
can
it has
always
to
get
fall.
one.
Yeah, you can
You
always,
can always
get one. That's true.
My hope is I have a clean record. I beat them, and then I never have to play them again. And then franchise is over, and I get to be like, hey, Francis, undefeated, baby.
Yeah, that'd be
But
hilarious.
let's see if I can do that.
That would be
It's going to
funny.
be hard as fuck.
That would be
It's going to
funny,
be
man.
so hard.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
There's something that I wanted to kind of query you about as well. So the Full Sense Twitter posted every player's role, essentially, right? Primmie Duelist, Killer
Yeah.
Initiator, Cruise Sentinel IGL, Sephiroth Controller, and Jitboy's Flex. When I see that, I kind of feel like that. Like how set in stone do you think when an org tweets that is it gonna like actually be followed? Because I feel like with this roster,
It's not.
yeah,
It's not.
Yeah, I assume
Like what
that's
they
just
posted is correct because it's true.
Sure.
There are some maps where this is going to be true.
yeah.
But now that I'm back here, it's not. I mean, bro, when Cruz played me, he used 2 different comps to play a map that he didn't expect us to play because he assumed I was going to ban it, right? He even
Right.
beat us on split on our own map
Yeah.
with our own comp. So they all have been, even without me, changing comps a lot. Nowhere to the degree that we did before. But now that I'm here, it is not going to be a Paper X simulator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Well,
I can tell you that now.
yeah,
that is
that
not
for
a
sure.
surprise.
yeah. I
Like
think
we
also
have double duelists for sure, but we also have a lot of other stuff.
right. Yeah, I think also it's just like orgs. It's just easier to announce that for the fans to latch onto something and have an expectation, but it's not like a because also as an org, like you would if it's actually all you're gonna ever do, you wouldn't want to post it to begin with because then everyone would just know who to target. So that makes sense. Before I don't want to focus too much only on Full Sense because I know you've talked about it a lot, and obviously you guys have matches coming up this week with the first week, but Primmie obviously still individually makes a huge splash at London, right? Just like top rating throughout even the matches he's losing. So as someone who saw him kind of come in and have to learn to become a pro, a player, a team player, has he evolved now in your eyes of okay, like now you're ready to be an actual professional world star?
So what you're saying to me is 2 different things, believe it or not. Because most
Okay.
people. So has he evolved? That means something different for most people. For me, evolved is as a player, how much have you grown? Right?
Sure. Okay.
So the argument could be, oh, he's playing duelist now, so he's grown a lot. Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's played that. But to me, I'm still having some of the same conversations I've had with him.
Okay.
So to other people, for sure, he's grown a lot. And if you look at his performance, obviously in the big stages, he certainly has grown. But he's not where I want him to be.
Sure.
Like, I know what I saw in him in 24. When I was calling him back then, I was telling all you mother flowers he was going to be the best player in the world,
Yep.
right? He's still not where I want him to be.
Okay.
And a small example of this is, like, if you look at, like, again, players like Autumn, Javi, Pat, and Crystal. They've all done very different things when I was around. Some of them really came, like Pat played Omen and then broke a world record. Crystal is seemingly going from one role to Sentinel, right, to another role.
Yeah.
Javi started calling from the smoke spot. to me, I think if Primmie wants to be the best in the world, or in my opinion, and this is no disrespect to any of the guys that have done it before, right? Like, Leo, Osbos, all these guys. I don't think you can be the best in the world and also play one agent, in my opinion. I think those days are
Oh.
over. I
Yeah.
think if he really wants to be the best player, he needs to be, to me, almost like a flex. Because
Right.
to me, that's where because like most of the best players to me are ones that are that adaptable,
Mm.
right?
Yeah,
Like I
okay.
think the days of like CNED on Jet only those days are done.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
you can go plus 33 on Jet on every map. That's cool, man. But if you want to hit like the next level, to me,
Yeah.
I think you need to be able to do multiple things at a high level, because that's where you really, I think, hurt the enemy the most, because they
Right.
can prepare all this for Jet and then they can have counters for Jet, but then all of a sudden you're playing something else. And now it's like,
Yeah.
what do they do now? And then the next map, you're doing something else. And then the next map, you have value something else. It's impossible to game plan against people like this.
Yeah.
makes sense.
It is. That's what made Jogamo so valuable for a long
Yes.
time.
That's a good example, actually.
Yeah, like I think another one that springs to mind is, well, it was like Yay on the chamber, right? But in Prime Chamber meta, it's all built around the chamber, and in a lot of these
Right.
double duelist schemes, it's built for those duelists to succeed. So it's always like
Yes.
it's inflated a little bit. Their skill, their numbers are all inflated because everything is built for them. I definitely agree. I think to be truly a top player, you have to be able to be amazing when the scheme isn't for you. You have to be amazing when
Right.
you're able to help the other people on your team, when you're not in those star positions. So
Right.
I mean, but to be honest, I think if you get Premier to that point, then I think everybody else will quit the game, like pretty much straight up. So
Win
Yeah, I
by
mean,
default.
listen, if he's continuously putting up like those types of numbers, even if it's not just kills, but like that kind of impact numbers on multitude of positions and agents over an extended period of time, like I agree at that point, everyone just has to accept it. Like it's like, all right,
Yeah.
this dude's on a
I
whole
mean,
different level.
my biggest example for this was, between him and me, we have like this joking session of like, he always reminds me that he went plus 33 on me, right? and I always remind him, but who won?
Mm.
And
That's-
that is
yeah.
like the biggest lesson I'm trying, now that I'm back, right?
Right.
One of the biggest lessons I'm teaching him is like, here's how I did it. Here's what I did. You need to, we need to figure out a way around this so this doesn't happen again. Because to me, if you're a Jet player, if you're Ilio, right, or you're Primmie, okay, that's cool. You can go plus 33. But if you're still able to lose, even with that high impact, there's a systemic problem, because you shouldn't ever lose it that way. And the way we beat them was pretty convincingly. Like, it wasn't like, an accident. Yeah, Primmie popped off. I think I'm going to use a basketball reference, but I would much rather him be LeBron James and elevate the game of everybody else and dominate only when he has to, than like Kevin Durant or Kobe that need the duelist position toward 24 rounds.
Right. Okay.
Because I think the more likely road to championships is multiple people having the ability, like Paper X, where anyone can pop off and impact
Yeah.
a round.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
you're having to build a system around one guy doing it, I don't think it's possible. It could be, but I don't think that's possible anymore. And that's like the one example I used to him is like, yeah, bro, you went plus 33, but you lost.
I mean,
So-
I think that's a yeah, it's a good
You
one
know?
because
Yeah.
it's also just like a living recent example of like that the
Yeah.
numbers don't always result in what you think it will, right? Like it's the same thing
Right.
that people say in ranked. It's like it doesn't matter if you popped off. Like if you lost, you lost. Like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So, all right. Well, listen, I think there's a lot to look forward to with Full Sense, and obviously quite a bit on the line as well. Lots of pressure. So we'll look forward to that. I'm sure we'll come around to it because we'll talk about some of the things coming up in stage 2. But since we have you here, Frost, I'm gonna give the floor to BigTime a bit, who was rather adamantly passionate about this concept of, let me pull up the exact tweet that you had, Hector. This game has almost 0 macro now. The last 2 majors are just run and gun. Valorant hasn't been a attack shooter in a long time. And BigTime disagreed quite passionately in our last episode. So, BigTime, if you want to provide your counter argument a little bit, I want to talk about this concept of macro in Valorant.
my argument to this is that there's still very much macro. It's just very different macro. And the teams that are able to succeed the best at double duelists are the teams that understand that macro. I think for me, when I look at it, like I think the Turkish teams who've been playing this kind of style However, I think when I watched them play, I was by far the most impressed with how they approached double duelist and the macro around it because they understand how to use
Your
their
brother
bodies
was
as
there?
a tool. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of bias, but that does
I'm
mean that
joking. That was a
it
joke.
means no, no,
No,
no.
That was
I
I know, I know.
You're
That was
correct
a
though,
joke. That was a joke.
because it does mean that I watched their games very, very closely, and I
Right.
was very much interested in how they were making it work on their team when they have these big, big names. Um,
Right.
and I think they were a team a lot that kind of got told this that they didn't have macro. But then the more I watched their games, and the more I felt it was the same with BBL as well. Watching BBL play recently, I do feel like they're very very strong when the game slows down and the lack of info slows down. It's for me, it's the element of macro of doing as much as you can with these tiny tiny pieces. I think when a lot of people think about like old school macro, like back in the day, that double initiator, you were drowning in utility to make things work. So I think good macro was easier and it looked a lot more obvious. My take on this is very much that the macro exists and it's just in a different form. And I think it's definitely niche and it's definitely not as like abundant. But I think the teams that will understand it are the teams that succeed.
Okay. I I will say that I think what it comes down to me, based on hearing you, is I think we can both agree.
Mm.
The difference is that I think you have a slightly different definition of macro to me. For instance, if you were to tell me DRX, for instance, has great macro, I would tell you they're a system team that has great executions,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Small example. I'm assuming all of you watch EWC,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. So if you looked at Lev, who run the same Neon Phoenix as Nongshim, I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed something very clean about Nongshim. They look like Talon in 2024. For instance, in EWC, they play 100 Thieves. I think it was first gun round. Maybe it was 2-0, 2-1. It was around there.
Mm-hmm.
They do 4-1, right? Ivy goes first.
Mm-hmm.
Bop. He gets pushed back. They go C. They open B door, challenge B. They go back C. They go back A. They fake A. Neon Danby runs up, dies. They end up C, right? You could
Mm-hmm.
say that was a triple fake. That's macro. No, that is a designed play. That is an
Mm.
execution. If anything, this is to me protocols designed to stretch the defense to create an opening. So when you talk to me about is this macro, I will say no, because this is a designed play in order to do this. To
Mm.
me, as I've learned in CS, macro really comes from conditioning. So like things like adjustments in game. Oh, if okay, the easy example that I always come to because it just happens was the CNED and Bone Cold thing, where one was always playing opposite
Mm.
the other. If you
Mm-hmm.
found the Jets, then it was easy to call around the round because they were inflexible. And basically, now you know what the setup is. Basically, you saw Viper B, Jet is A. You saw Jet A, Viper is B solo, or like weak side solo, right?
Yeah.
That didn't change.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't change. So we, my IGL Nitro, could make adjustments because of macro, because he understood the patterns and
Mm.
what's happening in game,
Mm.
and he's calling around this, and he has protocols and sets, and he has things that he can use. So if he uses a design play, like the one I told you about on 100 Thieves, or versus 100 Thieves, I would consider that macro because he understood what the setup was, and he's
Right.
using something he has in his playbook just to create the opening he wants. But if
So
you're strat rouletting, that to me is not macro.
Yeah.
sure.
That is just you have exotic plays that you're using and you're seeing what works or not. And if you get disrupted, you have a protocol like if you get stopped, you do this.
Mm.
This to
Sure.
me is less macro. It's more just, let's just say, advanced micro.
Yeah.
So,
I see
like
what
a
you
team
mean.
like DRX isn't macro; they're just advanced micro.
I think
But I
it's.
think that most people,
Oh no no
sorry,
sorry sorry sorry.
most people conflate it, and because they see exotic things, they think, oh, their macro is good because they're pivoting. Pivots are often designs, it's our jobs as coaches and IGLs and people or analysts that are like good at their jobs to notice what is real, like what is an adjustment that the IGL is making. That's why like you see me say shit like this IGL is really good, and then I don't give credit to other IGLs. When you don't hear me go in a post game, like, yo, that IGL was really good. It was a tough match. Even if it was a tough match, it's because I know that really they were just doing strat roulette and just shit worked. But when you hear me in post games go, yo, that IGL or like that guy, like this game was good as fuck. The coach staff did great. It's because I know that they went outside their playbook, read what we were doing, made adjustments, and then it became a battle of Cruz or Javi against them.
Okay.
So I think we're both saying the same thing because what you're saying is macro technically has changed and it's turned into what you see, which is advanced micro. And that's why it like can be, but for me, that's not macro because this isn't a guy making systemic adjustments. He's not changing his plays. He's just following the rhythm of the design of Valo Plant and finding the opening he's taught to find, and then they execute.
I think
So,
it's interesting for any listeners or viewers who maybe still aren't quite sure on this discussion. I actually think the example of DRX is a really good one because you would assume that if they actually had good macro, like as a team, they would have eventually broken that wall of like typical 5th to 6th. Like I know they've gone 3rd before, but they should have had more.
But that was resulting in a choke job from 3 rookies because if not, they wouldn't have even been there, right? So it's like,
so it's like your playbook was deeper than more people and it had more steps to it. But that's how a lot of us used to talk about it. Is that like they have a really good flow chart, like they have a really detailed flow chart. And they knew how to use that. But now I want to ask then, for those who might not be, who maybe haven't spent as much time, whether it's analyzing or watching, when you're watching a match then, FrosT, in your opinion, how would someone be able to tell like this team has good macro versus just good playbooks and protocol? Do you think it's just a matter of like, ooh, they made a switch without using timeouts and like I haven't seen this team do this before? Like, is that the only time we can be confident? Or do you think there's some other tells, whether it's, okay, this guy's like suddenly changing his position and I don't have a reason for it? Like, what are some things?
I have a great example.
Okay.
But I have a not great example.
Oh, okay.
The great example needs to be beeped or edited now.
Okay.
The great example is okay, now the bad example.
Okay.
The bad example was we used to give people fits with deadlock, right? And what PRX learned and what other people learned was, oh, you know what we're going to do? The moment you see the wall, no matter what, you have to break it, and then you rotate away, right?
Yeah.
Most teams leave the wall up, do whatever, blah, 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 blah. And it becomes a thing where, you get to cheat off of it.
Sure.
If you don't understand how those or like Sage Wall, right? Like how some teams like don't break the Sage Wall or some teams break the Sage Wall. If you can't from week to week, if you're still doing like similar things on the map, I don't want to sound critical because like people just get so fucking butthurt. But like the teams that like do a default and then they always do the same default, and the only things that change are like whether it's ult rounds or not, but not like, oh, I have cipher trips here, or I have a vice wall, or I have a deadlock wall. If all those stuff remain the same, even if they're changing where they end, like instead of a B split here, they're going to do like a fake B split into A, that's not macro. It's because the design is still the same. They just had a specific plan, probably before the round, that we're going to make them lean this way, and then we're going to go the other way.
Right.
It's hard if you're not in the server, or if you don't know the teams, or if you're not a professional and you're not used to, like, it's hard to make the judgment about what is macro, isn't macro.
Sure.
But our jobs as coaches and analysts, that's why I said like even you guys here, your job is to look at enough to see the difference. And Komodo knows because he has like a giant, because he's like a nerdy nerd. He's like a giant library of a lot of plays and stuff. Like you start to tell whether or not teams can make adjustments on the fly and then you start seeing them break away from their stuff. But when they make good choices, that's good macro, because it's like you're understanding both the tactical, the map control, the like micro, and you're just putting it all together. And sometimes you have to do that after a timeout. Sometimes as a coach, sometimes it's the players. But I like to gauge the IGLs by, this has been a problem. How do they deal with the problem? If they deal with the problem the same way they deal with all the other problems of the past games, but this is a different comp, they don't have macro. They have instructions,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But if you see like, oh, the game plan completely changed. That's why the great example I gave you, I don't want to be played, because this is going to come up so much this season.
Right.
And now that I say this, when you see that exact scenario, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This is how you guys are going to be able to see whether teams are really good at macro.
Right.
Because if you don't see what I told you, then you know exactly that they're just following a, right? So
Yeah. Okay. All right. You're smiling big time. What's
No, I mean, I agree. I think that's a good way of putting it. To be honest, I
Just like-
definitely feel
but-
like. I mean, like, I think for me, I think I agree, but then I also feel like there has to be a mix to it. Where in my mind,
No. Hold on. You're right though. But the reason you're right isn't because what you're saying contradicts me. It's because the way to play the game actually is better the way you described it.
yeah,
That even if the macro isn't traditional macro has evolved to be that because you don't have sentinels and initiators that are good anymore.
yeah,
Right.
that's
So
definitely
there
what
is
I
one
mean.
way to play, and it's that.
Yeah, I think it's just we sort of define what the circle of macro is sort of differently.
Right.
But what we're saying is the
But
same
as
thing.
it has been, it's not.
Yeah,
Yes.
That I
exactly.
think now, after this conversation, you and me can both agree. It
Yeah.
has evolved. I just believe it's evolved for the worse.
And,
Or the worst.
and
Is it worse or worst? It's
for-
evolved
for
for the
worse.
worst.
For
yeah,
the
for the
worst.
worst.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Right.
agree with you, and I want to stretch upon that because it's like it's the casualty of the way that Riot tweaks the agents, the way that the maps are designed, and the way that the kind of circuits play out as well, right? It's the teams, it's the players. I guess you would say coaching staff to a degree as well that is sort of in majority shifting it to be that way, and it's so difficult to shift it a different way because you'll have some teams that do have a sort of better fundamental understanding and a born like macro understander, right? That is just a massive credit to a team, but there also still needs to be the element of recognizing playing against 90% of these teams, you kind of can't adopt the same mentality as well because for some of it, they are just incredibly, in your face, cracked. They change it up and they do things that you just don't expect that you're wondering why the hell are they doing that, and they're doing it because they don't have the knowledge on that macro that it just catches you off guard, right? Because it's not the normal thing to do. It's not the expectation on what's going to be happening. So it is it's an identity problem of any sort of tactical FPX that has a very informational landscape that it falls into this.
Yeah. And your brother figured out he has like SOP and like individually gifted guys. So he doesn't need to craft meticulous stuff.
Yeah.
Just gain an advantage here
Yeah.
or there. And macro is, in theory, simpler. And it has less rules to follow. And it is indeed macro, right? Like in the larger scheme of things, it is macro. It's just not macro the way that I grew up having from
Yeah.
CS and
Yeah.
For sure.
even early on Valorant, right?
Like I feel like
It
my
has been
take on it
dumbed
is-
down so much.
Like my take on it is that it's sort of like it doesn't matter if it's better or worse in a way. Like it's not about that. Where
I
it's
agree,
just like
yeah.
it's the same way if you're like an F1 driver and you do a race where in perfect conditions, and then actually you have to go race in heavy rain. Like the heavy rain is a new meta. It's different. It changes how you have
Right.
to race. It changes how to play the game. But if you're a great driver, if you're a great team, then you adjust your macro. You adjust to what you need to do to fit the players, and then to fit the meta past that.
Yes.
Ultimately.
You saying the guy
And
from the
Chobra
UK
knows
doesn't
this.
like rain?
Sorry. Bro, London was so awful.
Was it?
Oh my God. That's not even.
Okay. All
But
right.
Chobra knows this because we did the coaching thing. And
Yeah.
Riot left out a lot in that video. And one of the things that bothered me, bro, there's a ton that bothered me about them, especially when it comes to content and all this stuff. But one thing that bothered me was there was a question that was asked that they kept out of the video, and then they chopped it up or my response, they chopped up, but they asked, you know, is Nongshim basically, did Nongshim win only because of the meta?
Oh,
Which for
yeah.
me, first off, completely disrespectful. And I went to their defense. I was like, it's not their fault, you guys, you idiots. And I basically said that. Chobra was there.
Yeah.
You idiots at Riot decided, hey, let's just take out Sentinels and Initiators at the same time. The safeguards to stop them are gone. I did it before with a myriad of different comps. But all my thing was stop Danby. You can't stop Neon anymore. So because of this, they won a major, but that's not their fault. I came to Silkanon's defense and Nongshim's defense with Riot, and they kept it out of the video because I called them out because, you know, they can't. But, like, it's crazy that, like, for me, if someone that came up with this question knew, oh, maybe this team only won because of the meta. What's crazy to me is that people are penalized, just like in a different way. T1, right, picked double duelists against Tejo and figured out that, like, oh, you can do this and you can kind of survive, right? Because you need an agent that can get in and get out, and that's how you survive the Tejo meta. But in reality, people wouldn't have been running those comps if the most broken agent in the game came out. And then when they fixed all of these things, then these teams go back to the place they were. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
I actually defended them wholeheartedly because, quite frankly, I think it's disrespectful. Just like this macro conversation. You don't see me, even on Spike Talk, disrespecting teams about, bro, their macros trash, blah, blah, blah. I might say it privately, or I might say it to other coaches. Like, there was a coach in London in the green room that asked me about something, and I was like, bro, this is so dumb about a team. I'm not going to say any names, but, like, I'll never say this publicly because it's not their fault. But we are rewarding, in my opinion, really low-level game IQ and high mechanics. Which to me is like, in CSGO, you have very high mechanics and low game IQ, and those teams don't ever become anything. To be Vitality, you need both. You need the high mechanics and you need the high game IQ. In Valorant, you don't. And this is the thing that bothers me, is that because of what they created, now all of a sudden you have people with a lot of points that really would never have had points if this nerf didn't happen, right? I mean, I'd argue, people might be surprised by this, I think if the game was normal, DRX would be much better.
Yeah, I think that makes
I agree
sense.
with that.
They're
so-
not built for it. They're not built for this meta.
No.
But the truth is, most teams aren't built for it because you should never have built a team like this.
Right.
You should never have built a team on mechanics and no game IQ. That just doesn't make sense. Rewarding this is actually insane in a game with abilities that mimics an MOBA.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you on that. To be very honest, this whole year, like, even though Nongshim won Santiago, and obviously emotionally that was exciting and fun, watching Valorant has been a bit of a chore at times because it's like, I mean, there's not much.
You're watching the same.
Yeah,
I was
there's
about
not much
say,
more
you're
to
watching
say.
The same thing.
Yeah, and it's
Bro, Neon Phoenix won a major. Neon Yoru won a major. Phoenix is the Yoru replacement.
Yeah.
But yet, no one seems to think this is a problem.
Yeah. So
No one with balls is willing to come out and say this except for me. And I'm the self-reporter who was right. Again.
You voted yourself out.
yeah, you voted yourself out basically.
Unlucky.
Yeah, you voted yourself off the island.
But the thing is, everyone feels this way. When you speak to all the high-level players, they all agree with me. None of them say
it's
it.
funny. You know what's funny?
None
I
of them.
don't know if you saw this, or maybe I had told you, because when I asked Cruz in one of the stage 1 press conferences, and we were talking about the meta, and he was like, oh, you know, I'm not a big fan of it. You know, it is what it is. Obviously, it's on us to figure it out, but there's not much thought, etc. And I was like, how do your players feel about it? And he was like, oh, they love it. Like, they love just going in for gunfights.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Primmie plus 33,
Yeah.
bro. Plus 33.
So it was it was just eye-opening of like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You know, you're coming in, you're playing an FPS, you just want to frag out. But if you're trying to watch it and break it down every time, it becomes a bit of a chore. But we talked a little bit about like callers during that as well, and different teams and whatnot. So I want to do a little who's who of stage 2. So this is kind of like pre-superlatives, right? Going into stage 2 of Pacific. So we just have some overall categories, but I just want to hear people's takes. Obviously, this is going to be mostly guesswork, except for maybe FrosT, especially if it's about full sense. But otherwise, mostly guesswork. But I just want to see where kind of our mind's at and hear some arguments. So the first one, it's funny that I'm using the same term, is going to be most evolved team. So I'm using it kind of similarly to what FrosT said earlier of like, who do you think is going to grow the most? If FrosT is dancing out here, he's freaking vibing. But who wants to go first? Komodo, you got one for us? Most evolved team.
No. I'll do it real quick.
All right.
GE. Done.
Most.
Hang on. Can I add? Are we evolving up or down? Which way are we going?
You can't say nothing yet.
No. Okay. Fair.
You can't say nothing yet.
Fair.
But GE is the most evolved team in Pacific.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh my god.
I think that Gen G has the capacity to evolve given the roster changes. I definitely need to see how it plays out. If Siesta was able to play, okay, yes, absolutely.
Sure.
I'm waiting for him, but unfortunately too young. But I still think Gen G has the opportunity to evolve. I am dark horse hoping that Team Secret might be able to, but we have no idea what the roster is going to look like, so I would hope that they can only go up.
Sure. Okay. All right. It's funny you say that because I mean, we've heard the reports / leaks / rumors about the secret changes. Obviously, the only thing we know at the time of recording is officially Berserks is out as well. Rimuru is out, but he was already being subbed out. So, but we've heard the inklings, I believe, the reports of like the Motive crew kind of coming in, right? So Styron. So I'm just working off of that since. I mean, listen, we got matches starting in 2.5 days, and if I still don't know, there's not much more I can do here.
Yeah.
But if that is true, I want to say Secret most evolved team. Now, part of this is because the bar is pretty low. Like it's pretty hard to not improve from what they had, and they already were showing some improvements with Zeus, I think, or at least Zeus showed some life at the end of stage 1, right? He was like, okay, I'm gonna do what I can here.
I mean,
so I'm pretty excited for them.
The thing for Team Secret for me is that Rimuru was always the replacement, like the stand-in for when Zeus was going to be able to come into the roster and do it. And for me, Styron is someone that I've casted in, challenges for the longest time as well. I think that Motive squad was going to be able to go really far with Minimize on it as well, but then the whole Shalom Bao situation happened and it all changed and everything. But I think that Styron has been one of those players that if we're talking about a macro concept ability, he is actually someone that is able to have a great understanding that I would say would rival or top a lot of the competition in Pacific as well. I'm just very interesting to see how he's going to be able to apply that in practice with the squad that is going to be built.
I listen. When I say most evolved, I'm not saying Secret's going to champs. I'm just
no,
saying,
I don't think they're going to do that.
I'm just saying their games might be fun to watch. The bar's pretty low here. But BigTime, what about you? Who's your most evolved team?
I think I have to give flowers where they're due and say Nongshim. I always hate watching these guys all of stage 1. I was so mad about every dumb decision that they made. They took the best Neon player in the world and they took him off Neon, and I said, this is the stupidest thing you've ever done. What are we doing? But now all the signs are the roles are starting to make sense again. The players are feeling more comfortable, and I think back to that sort of discussion on meta is like I feel like they're embracing what made them good, and like the meta isn't that different to Santiago. They're using a lot of that stuff now. I think X-Ross has evolved a lot since he joined the team. Also, especially we've seen him swap around roles, and he looks very comfortable back on Duelist now. So I think if I go between stage 1 and stage 2, the team for me that's most evolved, I think it has to be Nongshim. Or I mean, unless if they take Dami off Neon again, then I don't know. There's gonna be I'm gonna be locked up for real.
Francis is IGL now, so I don't think they'll do that.
Well, you never know.
Well, you never know. Hang on. Leaks?
No. I'm just listen. I mean, I didn't think they were gonna do that in stage 1. So I had a couple conversations with them about it, and I was like, once we started talking, I was like, listen, this is like way beyond already my scope because I would have never started down this path. So I didn't even touch it. But we'll see. But I get what you're saying, especially I think for those who are listening. I think a big thing you have to remember is BigTime saying this from stage 1 to stage 2, not necessarily for the whole year, because stage 1's Nongshim was quite low and they were kind of clueless about what they were doing. Okay, and FrosT says GE is going to be the most evolved team.
For sure, they have to be because they have to be. There's
no,
just
it's
no
true, though.
other.
No, I'm laughing because
It is
it's
true. That's what I'm
It
saying. They
is.
have to be.
They have put themselves in a situation that they have to be.
They have
They
to
are
be.
factually going
So-
to have to be an evolved team. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, bro.
Okay.
That's to me is the easiest slam dunk. But I understand the Nongshim one because, yeah, I do feel that for sure.
Okay.
Because
All
the
right.
more the more I watch, the more I see of them, the more I realize how much they have evolved since they won, and how much has evolved around that.
Gotcha.
But without question, GE is going to look so much different
yes.
than what you guys are used to seeing and what I'm used to seeing. So trust me, that is the number. They are the most evolved. Believe that.
All right. All right. Looking forward to it. All right. Let's move on to the next one. We mentioned earlier, especially callers, right? And IGLs, giving respect about macro, etc. So who's the best caller in Pacific? Now, if you want to name a specific IGL, because we know it's like their IGLing and their impact, that's fine. If you just want to say overall, this team's calling, you think is the best in Pacific, that's fine. Everyone's deep in thought here. I mean, we have a couple of
See,
usual
for me,
suspects.
I mean, for me, the answer's easy. So
I agree
yeah.
with you, Frost.
Yeah?
Like it's.
I
Cruz.
know. You
It's-
have to.
It's Cruz.
Yeah.
Okay, Komodo.
Three
Komodo going to
rookies.
bat for Cruz.
Yeah. 1 point away.
Yeah. It's for me, it's Cruz. His attention to detail in the game to still be able to translate everything and know at a conceptual level how the team needs to function outside of himself as well, and still like track everything in the opponents. And I'll add the caveat as well in multiple languages.
Yeah.
There was currently for the past year no competition. Like he was in a league of his own for that. And honestly, it's a very heavy anchor to wear in these sort of circumstances as well. When you do have the pressure of this league, when you have the pressure of outside things happening as well, and you have the pressure of Frost as your coach, I think it is a really big credit where credit is due. Cruz is the guy for me.
Okay. You're in agreement?
And
I mean,
BigTime?
yeah, pretty much. I think the only other
Okay.
IGL that I would kind of, I like to shout out, I think Cushy does a great job. I think from when the difference between when Cushy wasn't on the team to him joining the team, I think they play very differently. I think he's a smart leader, and I think he's
For
a smart,
Crazy Guy
a smart
or-
IGL.
What
Yeah, for
what
Crazy
I,
Guy.
what I will
Sorry, not
Crazy
Cushy.
Guy.
I said Cushy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crazy Guy.
what I will say though is Jemkin mid rounds a lot, and this is I felt like Ewok got butthurt when I was arguing with him in that coach thing. And I still feel like I was right last year because really, if we don't throw the 2-0 lead and that corrode
That
where we were,
sunset.
oh my god, oh don't even get me
Yeah,
started. I
that's-
fucking still bitch at them for it. Anyways,
Corrode as
no. Because if you think about it, 7-5
Yeah.
double sentinel, my attack got 7 rounds. GG. And then I lose the game on a 1v3 to Xfero? What are we doing? Anyways.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the thing is, 3 rookies, no one mid rounds for Cruz. That's the difference. And this is not it was never disrespectful towards Crazy Guy. I
No.
know how good Crazy Guy is. Trust. I know how good that guy is. But when you tell me who's a better IGL, it's like I don't know, the guy that does way more. And it's not that Crazy Guy doesn't do a lot. It's that he doesn't have to.
He doesn't need
He's
to.
been with the same core for 4 years almost, right? Good coach, strong mid-rounder, and star player in Jemkin. Has other smart players like Cushy and Monnier with experience. Monnier coming from PRX that can help.
Yeah.
The reason why last year I was so like, guys, I don't know why the fuck we're even talking about it. IGL of the year should have been Cruz. And when Pacific gave it to Crazy Guy, it was really only because they beat us in Japan. Because whoever won that game was getting IGL of the year. And to me, it just shows, in my opinion, that some of these motherfuckers that vote don't know ball because they're not the same. We did it.
No.
We were a point away with 3 rookies. What are you
Yeah,
talking about? And consistently, too. Top 4 in kickoff. Top 5, like 5, 6 in playoffs. Oh, sorry. Season 1, we were 2nd seed, first off, season 1. Then in playoffs, 5, 6. Then in season 2, 2nd seed. And then in playoffs, 3rd. We were top 4 all year. The only reason that we don't make champs is because fucking no one in the world can win a major except for Pacific. So these teams are sitting with a lot of points. DRX won kickoff, got 10 points for free, and then did nothing. Just imagine that. But I'm playing with rookies, and Cruz is IGLing in those games. And we're putting foot to ass.
In a broken meta, by the way, in a very abusable, early capitalized meta.
And how did Cruz do it? He didn't have to rely on Jemkin or hero plays or
Right.
Neon. He was doing it on double Senti, double duelist. We were like, because in Japan, we were all double duelists. Before that, we're running crazy comps. We're switching comps all the time. And he has 3 rookies, and no one's mid-rounding. So to me, it was always like, bro, what are y'all even doing? And then this year, they put him on the bench because, unlucky.
Right.
I'm not even going to get into it. They put him
Yeah.
on the bench. He's coaching. Motherfucker comes back. They go into playoffs, not on the loser side, qualify for London,
Yeah.
beat us in Ho Chi Minh at GE.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what person do you pluck in and out of a squad and they just start qualifying for stuff or
Yeah.
look like an entirely different team in
Yeah.
Pacific? And this is like no disrespect. This is just like
No.
and
Yeah.
I'm
and like
with you
sorry,
on that.
everyone on Spike Talk got mad because they're always like, bro, why are you always talking about Cruz? It's like because I know how good he is. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I do
because
think
I
in
know
a-
how good he is.
In a similar vein, I want to see. I mean, you know much more about this. You don't have to speak to it if you don't want to, but interesting to see how Javi's IGLing will look because I feel like
Mm.
he was an impressive IGL from what we've seen him in the past, but obviously
Yeah.
big structural changes all around there. So I think I'm very curious how he's going to look.
Yeah, that's
He
like
has the
a-
tools. He has all the tools in the world to be one of the greats.
Yeah.
Whether it happens or not, that's an entirely different discussion. Life
Sure.
will determine that. He'll determine that himself. But he has the tools. He has everything
Yeah.
he needs.
I think that's fair. I think that just goes back to those of us who watched him before when he was IGing in Challengers. It's like a lot of us thought he is an IGL prospect that
Yeah.
someone should be looking at because
Yeah.
Pacific's lacking a lot of good IGLs. Like he just needs a little training. So I think Avi's definitely an interesting one to watch. I'm glad actually that we're in a safe space here that knows that Cruz is a freaking great IGL because that was one of the reasons I ranked Full Sense really low at the beginning of the year and everyone was calling me crazy. They're like, well, these guys are fraggers. And I was like, yeah, but like, I don't think anyone understands how big of an impact Cruz has on this team. Like this dude changes the team. Like he will lead them to victory. And so it's good. It's good to see. I would definitely agree. Listen, just because we're all on
'Cause-
the Cruz thing. Oh, go ahead.
I'll give you an example of what you said quickly.
Okay.
Remember, in London, he beat us, GE, with our own comp. Because, so why would they pick split? They don't play split. Because he's like, Hector's not going to practice it. He thinks I'm going to ban it. So we're going to flip it on him. He did it before in Ho Chi Minh, except that time I knew it was coming. He still beat me because you guys remember the Primmie clip where he kills 4 in a swing round and then, he go, whatever. But the point is, that's him. That's not his coaching staff going, oh, I know FrosT. I know how to beat GE. Let's do this. That is not him. Or, sorry, that's not their coaches. That's the IGL identifying, oh, they think we're going to ban this, so they're not going to practice it. We can sneak in a map that they're not practicing and they won't have a script for. Let's do that. There's no fucking IGL in the world. Maybe Boaster. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's the only guy, I think, that will do something like that. And I don't even think Jake would do that. I think that is too crazy for Jake. He's too safe.
Yeah.
That's the difference with Cruz is he's a fucking madman that he'll pull your comp against you in a mirror match. And then he goes, nah, you know what? I don't want to put Primmie on Raze. I'm going to put him on Jet. And it works with no flash. Yeah, okay, man. Fuck you.
Well, I just want to
It worked
listen.
twice.
Everyone's on the cruise train, including myself. So just so we have a little variety, I'm gonna throw Francis's name in there. Now, I don't think Francis has proven, especially because he wasn't calling for the first half of the year, but I don't think he's proven in tier 1 that how good his calling is. Frost is shaking your head. Just hear me out, man.
Just pick one, RB or him, bro. I'm
listen,
just,
that's not on me.
hell
That's
nah.
not on me.
hell nah. He
No, but
should be banned. Minimum reps IGLing rounds he doesn't have. Next.
You know what? Fine. Just look forward
Okay,
to it. I've
talk
got
to me
hope.
about Munchkin. Maybe Munchkin.
I was
maybe
about
you
to
can talk about
say,
Munchkin.
I was
I don't agree with this,
literally-
but maybe Munchkin.
Okay, yeah,
Maybe.
that's fair. I mean,
Munchkin's
obviously
good as
they
fuck.
haven't been overall. I think my take on T1 and Munchkin this year is I actually don't think Munchkin's been able to play his game. Like I don't think he's been able to IGL the games he wants, and
Yeah.
so
True.
yeah, so it's kind of
Munchkin Munchkin has always been a pretty for lack of a better word, a pretty selfish caller. Like
Yeah.
he gets the good spots. He's
Yep.
the one who it's a system for him, but he can't do that
Yes.
in the T1 team. There's too many superstars that need the
no.
light. It worked great at Gen G because he had other pieces that fit in and made it work. Yo, who is that?
Yo, damn. Who is
Got that.
built, man? That's got to be Cruz.
Bot
no?
Cruz. That's
yeah.
who that is. Bot
Holy.
Cruz.
Yeah.
Bot Cruz. That was crazy.
No,
All right.
I do feel like Munchkin is great at what he does, but I don't think it makes him a great caller. I think a great caller
Oh, that's
is
fair.
more adaptable in style.
This is like the
and
best
then
player
can obviously
discussion. Yeah.
yeah, but then they can make it work on other teams also. Like
Yeah.
I do think we've seen a big difference in his
Yeah.
calling, especially.
I think that's entirely fair. But we'll see. I mean, listen, obviously they've had potential roster changes here too, with DH being called up again. So
DH, yeah.
we'll see how it goes. All right. Next up, now this is different. Now I want to hear your takes on who the dark horse team's going to be. So whether they've evolved or not, who's kind of flying under the radar, but you think, oh, they could punch up and they could maybe, whether it's champions or do damage top 4, something like that. Who's a dark horse team for you? I'll go first. Listen, since I had Secret as most improved, I'm going Gen G on this one. Gen G's been down in the dumps for the year. No, everyone's just given up on these guys. They said they wrote them off, but I think not only do they have to be giga motivated since they've done nothing this year, but I mean, you're going back to comfort roles, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
Karen back on smokes, Texture on the opping duelist, and I'm told Defina's calling has gotten really good, so I'll put my stock there.
No, Gen G was my go-to pick. Outside of that, Team Secret as well. I see where you're coming from with Team Secret, but Gen G was definitely my obvious pick because it does feel like everyone's forgotten how good they were, and like the pieces are still there. The great players are still there. The great coaching staff is still there. Like
Yeah.
I think they like it's suddenly scary because they were a sort of a bottom feeder in the groups last time around.
Yeah.
But and I would argue 3 out of the 4 bottom teams in Pacific have like leveled up massively
Sure.
in my mind.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So I think Gen
3
G
of the
is
4.
Wait, 3 of the 4? Wait, you're focusing
Yeah,
on 3. I'm
hold
focusing
on.
on the 4.
Oh, you're talking about Secret? Probably.
I'm
That's what you're
thinking
thinking.
Secret,
Because of
Valorant,
Spin, because he's your boy. I get it.
I don't think Zeta are any better,
No,
but I
agree.
think Varel is better. I think the
Okay.
Proxy 9 change is a good change.
Oh, Oh, you're putting DFM above the bottom 4.
Oh
okay.
yeah, I
okay.
don't see the
Okay.
as a bottom team.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, so you're going Secret, Varel, and...
Gen G are looking
And Gen
better.
G. I think they've
Gen
all
G.
improved.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
I'm not going to say that they'll necessarily
I
improve
agree.
in
At first,
placement.
I'm sorry. At first, it was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Now I understand. My bad. That's on me.
So
Like,
It is on me. My fault. My fault.
I don't necessarily mean it's like they're gonna top the groups now.
No,
but
no.
it doesn't feel like there's gonna be as many open and short, easy games.
Sure.
No. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
They have improved. And that, yes, correct.
Yes.
So
yeah. Above the
I would
bar.
agree with that too. But
Yeah.
at first, it was jarring to hear. I was like, wait, what?
Frost, what about you? You got a dark horse team in Pacific? One that you think no one's really looking at, but you got to watch out for?
I mean, I would say Varel. I think Varel for sure is like, those guys are so, bro. First off,
Yeah.
what is up with your, why did the Korean national team, why don't they realize the best Sentinel, okay, you could argue with me about Ivy, but even me, I disagree. I think Klaus is the best Sentinel you have, and I don't understand why you guys don't pick teams based on roles. That doesn't make any sense to me. And then Mako is by far the best controller in Pacific. I mean, you could argue Karen if he goes back and he gets more consistent. Like, Karen probably has the higher ceiling, I think, long-term, for sure. I think Mako is where he's going to be. I don't think Mako's going to get better than what he is now. But what he is right now is still better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, so what the heck is wrong? Anyways, Varel is the guys, and Klaus is one of the reasons. I call him Ozempic, but I don't know what his name is.
LP.
LP.
Is
Ozempic.
just what you're supposed to
LP.
call him, yeah.
But
You're
what the
supposed
fuck
to
is the
ignore
the
the unzma? You're supposed to ignore that, and it's just LP. Don't ask me
No,
why.
fuck that. Ozempic. I anoint him Ozempic is his name. Ozempic. Zuna is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I think that core, that's the future of Korea, really.
I was shocked that they
I'll
did
be
so
real with
badly in stage 1. After what?
Yeah.
After that,
I'm not.
after
No.
like a century run.
No. Nongchun was ass
No?
too last year.
That's-
Y'all
yep.
forget.
Well,
It's
that's what I
fucking
mean.
hard. But you know
Suppose.
what the difference was? You know what the difference was? All their games were close.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll tell you something else. They don't have clutchers yet. That takes time to evolve. But if they had, like, I know this is kind of weird for me to say this, but like, if Crystal was on that, if Klaus had Crystal's clutch gene, they're probably in playoffs.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not in lowers.
Sure.
Because if he just stole those maps like Crystal sometimes did for us, it's wraps. I mean, look, in London, we had like, I think 2 of the top 5 clutch players. If they even had one, they're winning at least 3 games in the groups.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like that's just a byproduct of growing, like Nongshim. Nongshim
Yeah.
wasn't even making playoffs; they were making last, like bottom seed in playoffs. Like
Mhm.
that would have been their trajectory. They just weren't clutching shit, which is unlucky. And then also blowing leads. I mean, they had, bro, how many times did they have like
Yeah.
11-5 leads and
Yeah.
throw?
Yeah,
Bro,
Bro, they
was
look like
crazy.
GE out there in London, bro.
Uh,
That shit was crazy.
it was sad, man, because you could tell like they do have the
Yes.
capability, but they just
Yes.
but it's like you said, it's just it's exactly what Nongshim went through. It's like it's hard.
And
It's
that's
freaking
another
hard.
thing. Everybody, or not everybody, but from an outsider, from a foreigner's perspective, everyone is out here like talking shit about their coaching. You know what it is to get rookies within
Dude.
inches away from stealing games
Yeah.
and almost playoffs. Like I happen to do it, and I'm still trash. If you listen to, if you read what you read, I'm Garbo. I mean, shit, my last team thinks I'm Garbo, right? So, like, and I'm making playoffs. I'm having 4-1 records. I'm getting screwed by having to play PRX, who's also 4-1. I talked about that at Spike Talk, by the way, and people started to do the research, and then they started to realize, wait a minute, the funny business of a 2-3 team qualifying for Shanghai, and then going, oh man, trust the process. You know what I'm saying? You know. Meanwhile, I'm 4-1, having to go against Paper Rex. You know, so I'm winning those games, and people think I'm trash. This guy's within this of winning.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, get them out of there. Like, do y'all know how hard that is
Yeah,
to
no,
do
it's-
what they're doing?
It's unfair, man. Like I give a
It
lot of
is
respect
unfair.
to him. Also, just because I think if there was anything that, again, obviously I don't know the exact inside workings of Varel, but if there was anything that I think the coaching staff of Varel would need is also just things that I don't think getting really many other coaches even existing in Korea would change, right? Unless you were to just get the ones that are like giga established, because those are things that would come
Right.
with like being able to lead an org in a group for a long time and learn that human to human process. But he's learning that, and we know Frost because you've talked to him a lot more, but like I talked even during the coach content thing, and I talked to him, and he's so aware of that, which gives him a lot of respect. Like I give him a lot of respect for that, because he's like, it's freaking tough to figure out how to work with this young generation of players who don't have a lot of experience, because I'm constantly trying to balance out, like, where do I give that criticism versus where do I, kind of baby them a little bit? Where do I lean into their strengths versus not? But the fact that he's thinking about that means to me that he's got the good workings of a coach. Like, he's a good coach.
Yeah.
Sure. I would say he has good interpersonal communication. I don't necessarily think that being likable is also
Well, fair.
a characteristic of being a good coach.
We
Because
know
the
that,
truth is, you don't
Frost.
have time.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I think people are like, I just think for the sake of argument, people are just like, oh man, you want to be a good person, you want to be likable, and you want to be all this. Yeah, when you have time to develop people, sure. If I have 3 years,
Right.
obviously every win isn't going to matter.
Yeah. But you only have like 6
But
months.
you don't.
Yeah.
Not even
So.
really.
Right.
I was going to say Varel as well, by the way, for my
Okay.
dark horse team that could come through. I was also going to add to the fact that I think I agree with Frost on all the class topic as well. I actually thought that if Sungmin wasn't picked up back to Nongshim, that they would have benefited from grabbing him come into this year as well. From all the conversations that
Varel.
I've had for Varel, just as a side like coaching note, I think he would do really well with that team as well. And
Just leave him
something
where
that-
he is.
Yeah, oh,
you know.
yeah. Something else, by the way, if I can throw a dark horse in, Sharper and 555 can do some
Ooh.
damage.
Surf.
I want to
the boy.
throw them in because they can do some damage to these plans.
You
Oh, hell yeah.
Wait, when we say
Hell
damage,
yeah.
like what are we?
I
what's
don't
the
think they're
definition of
winning.
Damage?
I don't
No.
think they're
They're
getting
knocking
top
out
1,
some
2,
teams.
but they are
They're knocking out some
beating
teams.
like.
Surf team is beating half the league, I'm telling you right now.
So you
like-
think they'll beat more than like 1 or 2 teams? Like knock
yeah.
out more than 1 or 2 teams?
Yeah, I think 2 like teams
Okay.
they could
All
knock
right.
out like easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 teams easy, I think is fair. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think if they were in the league and they were in one of these groups, more the other group than this one, I think. But,
Yeah.
Because the other group, obviously you play T1 and you play
Paper X. Yeah.
Paper Rex, but then outside of that,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they would probably have 1 or 2 wins for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I
And
would
even
see
in
them
this group,
probably
they
even
might
having
get 1 or 2
3,
goods.
to be honest.
Could, yeah, for sure.
Like-
Could. I'm being modest on
Yeah.
my
Okay.
projection of 555. And Sharper is technically better, but I actually don't think their ceiling is as high. I think maybe it's more
Agreed.
like the team play
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
sets or the strats are probably a little bit better.
The
But I think
experience, all that. Yeah.
and also what makes these mother flowers so scary is that they have 2 months to prepare, and
Yes.
everyone else in
Oh,
VCT
yeah.
has 1 week.
1 week.
Yep.
Yep.
They get to watch. They get to just prep, and we'll see. We'll see how
That
that
is
goes.
not gonna be fun, bro.
Yep. Yeah. I
That is not gonna
dude,
be fun.
I would not, and obviously Nongshim is in risk of this as well, but I would not want to play in the play-ins if I'm currently in
Yeah.
Pacific.
Bro, I almost typed. So when Surf won, I almost typed like, bro, we might actually be the second team out of Thailand right now. Like we might actually be the second best Thai team because trust, bro,
Endo, bro.
they
Endo
are
is-
good. Bro.
Endo
Endo,
is
yep, and
a
Endo was
guy.
on me and Cruz's radar, but he never
Yeah.
wanted to come to our academy team because he was in school.
Right, I
And,
heard. I've heard about that.
And
yeah.
then like and then Surf was like, yo,
Let's do this,
but
yeah.
Surf's the boy, bro.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
It's good
But
to see.
my
It's good
heart
to see him
bleeds
still
a little
around.
bit for no salary peak in that LCQ.
Oh, I know. I feel bad.
Yeah.
I
rooting
felt like
for-
they were a good team, man.
Dude,
I think they
honestly-
bro. Lightning Fast is.
Yeah.
He was stellar.
Really good player,
Like
man.
I had the privilege
He's
to
the
be able
truth,
to
bro.
to cast.
He was
that-
even
that-
good in Ascension.
Yeah, yeah.
He was carrying
Dude.
hard in Ascension.
Yeah, he
bro.
was. Yeah, he
I,
was.
I had the privilege to cast that whole LCQ. So the 4 teams that were in it, and I gotta say, it was like one of the most fun events to like just witness the games in and how close all of them were. Like that for me would have been like the epitome of there's no Ascension. This is the best we could do for an Ascension replacement. If that's LAN with everyone there, it would have been phenomenal.
Yeah. No, dude, Lightning Fast.
Yeah.
I hope he still is able to find a way to stick around because that dude has just been looking better and better every year and carrying whatever roster he's on. So
Yeah.
hopefully. All right. Well, grand finalists of Stage 2. Just early hot takes. Who are the top 2 teams of Stage 2 in Pacific? It's a tough one.
I mean, look, I think you'd be silly for not suggesting Paper X. as one of
Okay.
them. I know that they don't have,
Yeah.
they don't need it. They don't,
Yeah.
you know,
No?
they're already in, but that never really seems to stop them.
No,
they're-
they
they're-
still try.
they're-
Yeah.
I think regionally, especially, like the question for much more with Paper X is, can they do the champs? They had so
Yeah.
much pressure on them in London, they couldn't do it. But domestically, I unfortunately feel like they are still a cut above the rest.
Okay.
They're hard to beat. They're a next impossible team to beat. It's doable, but it's few and far between.
And
There's
Who
still
else?
money as well. Like,
Yeah,
there
they-
is still
they've said-
prize
Oh,
pool
yeah,
at
for
the
sure.
end of the day too.
yeah,
Like,
they've said
Bro,
they're
they care,
doing it for the
bro.
money.
Yeah,
they said they're doing it for
They
the money.
care, bro.
You're never
do.
gonna
They
stop
ruined my
trying.
life twice, 2 years in a row. So
care,
care,
yeah.
bro.
No, they care.
Yeah.
They're not gonna just phone it in. Like they might have, they might like have a little fun or experiment on 1 or 2 maps once or twice, but like they're not gonna put the entire friggin' league on the wrist.
Yeah.
But who's your other one?
I
Then?
mean,
Who are they playing?
I think no glaze. I think full sense is a fair shot.
Okay.
But I don't have to go into
I'd
that
agree with fair shot.
because I mean you've been there before.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
part of me also wants to say one of the Korean teams. I feel like the Korean teams have a lot to prove in stage 2, where realistically they need to get to that final as a shot to get the champs.
T1 maybe. T1 has
T1's
about as good a chance as we do.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think T1
They got
is,
another
is,
easy
the, is the
group.
best bet.
per
Okay.
usual,
Yep.
they have an easy group outside of Paper X, and then they're playing Paper X first. Biggest advantage they can get. I wonder why this happens every year, but it's only going to be that one. I don't think the Koreans are actually that strong.
Hmm.
I mean,
I think T1 are the best
Nongshim
shout
looks
out.
stronger, but bro,
I don't think they
don't
make a
know,
final
fam.
though. Nongshim.
Okay, so T1 or full sense and then Paper X. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone got anything different? Frost, you thinking like yourselves in Paper X? Is that your prediction?
It's hard because I would agree with him that we have a chance,
A fair
or
shot.
like it's not a fair shot, but I will say, having gone through the gauntlet multiple years in a row and making top 3. Wait, G was top 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
top
I've made top 3 in this league. About half my time in this league, actually.
Yeah.
Regardless of the team, I've made top 3 in seasons a lot, actually. But I think this format is going to be the hardest one to do because of the amount of time you have. Like the way the play-ins work and the way if you make top bracket, there's so much time in between, and you would argue, but Hector, aren't you good with prep? Yes, but the thing is, these guys have never been good with prep.
Hmm.
If you think about it, we play our best when we're constantly grinding.
Yeah.
I
Big
see.
breaks, some of these guys are papegas, so it's like we got to figure this out. So I'm concerned because it's too easy to take the foot off the gas. And sometimes what's another way to describe it? It's like, okay, I don't know if any of you are basketball fans. You know how sometimes they say when you are wide open, it's actually a lot harder than when someone is closing out because you don't have time to think.
Yep.
I think the same thing happens to young players and rookies, and I know they're not rookies anymore, but I know based on the schedule, that long break, I'm worried about that long break for us because I want the 1 seed, right? So we're grinding for the 1 seed. I think the season format is much better for them than the current format of not playing through big stretches because it's easy to lose, and then all of a sudden now you got to grind. It's just I'm a little bit weary right now of that. I'm more confident, I think, in our ability to play in the season. And knowing me, we're going to go 0-5 now because I said that. But, like, I'm more confident in, like, season 2 than I am about that the time in between the long playoff stretch. I think I really liked the way the format was in, like, kickoff and like, season 2. Because you had, like, but no, it's not even the triple elim. I meant, like, the time between matches.
Oh, okay,
Like, you're just
It was always, like, a good –
very
now it's going to be
regular,
like weeks, right? Like it's like you get put on ice for a while, and you saw what happened to G2 in London. They didn't play for 4 weeks, almost 3 weeks, right? So
that's true.
I will say this is my biggest hesitation is this.
Okay.
In terms of ability, I think we certainly have a chance. I think T1 certainly has a chance. I think PaperX has the biggest chance. I think Nongshim and GE are the biggest question marks for me. And then I don't think anyone else has a realistic chance of, like, even competing for top 4.
Sure.
Maybe if Jemkin, becomes Jemkin and, like, just rips through holes through people, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think right now the league is pretty defined, I would say.
Okay.
And that's for me the hard part as well, right? Because for my answer, it's like it's PaperX, it's T1, like that's the cop out answer on who's gonna get there. Teams that I could see there, like I could see Full Sense and I could see RRQ because I quite like the change for Monyet and Zan because Zan's not scared, man. Like the amount I've casted this guy, he's not scared. He will go, and I think that's what the team needed. He's so flexible, he's not scared. And he's vocal, and he's fun. Like, they could get there, but difficult.
Right. Man, FrosT, I get it, because you were talking about the weariness of your own team, but, man, you guys, the other two, you guys are so scared to take risks. It's all just putting up paper
who's realistically getting there, though?
Well,
that's the problem.
I'm not going to say anyone else crazy, but I'm just going to put Nongshim and Full Sense in the grand finals. I'm putting Paper X in the lower finals. Yeah.
I think the way I've always thought about this is like, and despite what people may think about me on a personal level, I think I'm very pragmatic about and objective about like what I see. If all the teams are playing well, I think it's really just a 3-horse race, really.
Sure.
I think it's T1, us, Paper X.
Hmm.
If everyone's at the same level, the problem is it's hard to be like, at the same level. If there's no inner conflicts, if there's no problems, we have the highest upside. Like Nongshim is right now on this trajectory, right? But the truth is, now I say this as somebody with experience of beating them, of course, but
like 5-6 times. So.
That team, I'll just say there are holes.
Oh, for sure.
There are things you can exploit that are much easier to exploit than the other two teams I mentioned, right?
Yep, I would agree with that.
I think RQ has similar issues.
Would agree.
I think GE has similar issues. The other teams I mentioned, the RQ, the GE, the Nongshim, if they're playing at their best, they can also beat any of us too.
Yes.
But the difference is our good can beat most teams. Their good might not. So that's where my opinion comes in. It's more like I don't need an all-star performance from everyone to win. Yeah. Some of these other teams do. Like DFM need
Well,
like Heat May and Heat Kaide
yeah,
for 3 or 4 series in a row.
yeah,
Will you get that?
probably.
I don't know.
mean, yeah,
Right? RQ needs Heat Jemkin, Heat Xfero, and good calling out a crazy guy multiple series in a row. T1, they don't need Heat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
No, I agree.
Buzz can win you a game. Izu's going to win you another map. Meteor might steal a map finally. Like, you might have, you know what I'm saying? Like, Paper X, any one of them could just destroy a series, and what the
Yeah.
fuck are we going to do? Right? Like, so that's why, like, for me, I think Pacific is a little bit more, like, I think it's harder to crack the nut of the top
Sure.
4.
Yeah.
Because the relative skill level means that some teams have more ways to win than
Yeah.
others. And then you need, like, now, can you do it? Look at Texture. Texture was coming back, EWC qualifier. This guy looked like incredible. If that Texture shows up, Gen G can also beat any of us. But are they going to be able to do it consistently for 4 or 5 series in a row?
Yeah.
That's the, man.
No,
There's only, to me, one team you can count on, and that's Paper X to be able to
Yes.
do that over the course, right? I think everybody else is struggling in some other tier. Even if you don't agree with me about us and T1 being that next tier,
Sure.
and you think, oh, well, you got to put Nongshim up there. Okay, I'm not going to argue this. Like, it is what it is.
No,
But
but
I
I would,
think,
I would
like,
agree with you. Like, even
a
as
grind.
Nongshim, obviously, I'm trying to look at the good side, and they're on the upswing. But
Yeah, for sure.
Nongshim has, like, they look best when things are, like, there's something going for them. Whereas T1, the Paper
Right.
X's and T1s are teams and players who are also known for getting the best out of when things aren't going for them. And, like, that's the
Right.
big difference. So, no, I
Yeah.
hear you on that. No, I hear you on that. So, all right. So we'll see. We'll see how the grand finals go through. Obviously, we got a long journey with play-ins coming up. Now, normally on our podcast, we kind of give a just general, hey, here's your personal pick of the week. Give a shout out to anybody. But this week, in the matter of time, I want to wrap it up with everyone just giving one player to watch for in stage 2. Whether it's because you think they'll be the top of the stats, whether you think they just deserve a little more spotlight. Whoever
Okay.
it might be, whether it's because they're part of your team, whether it's because,
I am not naming a full sense player.
yeah, no, I know, I know.
For
No
me,
shot.
I can go. I'm gonna say DH. I
Okay.
think this guy was great when he came in. I feel like he did his job so brilliantly well for a
Mhm.
rookie. He got replaced, which I think was unlucky. It's a tough team to play in. So I'm excited for him to come back, and I really hope he has a big performance because he definitely has it in him from what we've seen from him in the past. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
for
DH.
T1. Yeah, T1 DH. All right, Komodo.
I mean,
Your
I
player to
probably would
watch.
say Rascal for me, though. Like
Gen
texture,
G.
yeah, on Gen G. I think he's got like the capacity to potentially like perform on this one. I would also like for my heart because I had a personal pick ready. This just as a side note, PTC finally getting his spot in tier 1.
Dude, we
I
ain't gonna
cost-
see him for 4 weeks, man, because
I
they're
know,
just chilling
but
until
I know,
play-ins. We can
but,
talk
like,
about it
I
when
swear to
play-ins
God,
come, man.
I
You
know.
derail this
I
segment
do.
every time.
I have to.
Listen,
it's
Rascal.
the thing.
Rascal it is. Watch for
Rascal.
him during the group play. We can talk about PTC when we get there. Listen, I'm a PTC fan, so I feel you. Frost, you want to go now or you want to go last? You want to just drop your name and that's the end of the
I'll
podcast?
go last.
All right. So
I'll go last.
my pick, since I know that Frost isn't going to name any of his own players, I am going to go with Sephiroth. Obviously, we talked very extensively early on in the podcast about Sephiroth, but as someone, and I think Komodo would hard agree with this, who's followed the challenger scene out here in SEA and some of the Thai players, Sephiroth is a player to watch for, and I think if you haven't followed them, you should be excited to see what he can do. Now, obviously not trying to put pressure on it, but I think it should be exciting, so I'm looking forward to see how he gels in full sense. All right.
He
now
should
last
win a
but-
couple MVPs like Thai and Killua did. Because
Right.
I had rookies that were winning match MVPs.
That's true, yeah.
I think he's going to do it too. Because
right.
just the way things are working out,
It's,
I
it's
think
an
we're putting
exciting
him
roster,
in good
man.
positions for him to
Yeah.
be. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be heat.
Okay, well,
So,
your player to watch.
where is she?
All right. And And with that, we all know who to watch for in Pacific State.
That's the player to watch.
That's it. The Dark Knight himself. All right. Well, thank you so much, Frost, for taking time out of your busy week. I know it's the week of opening Pacific here. You got anything you want to shout out? You know, whether it's Full Sense sponsors, just the fans.
Full Sense Thai Cocoa. Big fan of coconut water. No, I mean, Full Sense is dope. I will be very transparent with you guys. I actually don't know how we're going to do in this group. This group right now is a bloodbath. Every single team has to pull off every stop in order to win.
Yeah.
So I'm a little apprehensive about what's about to happen because we start out the gate really quick. We have 2 tough matches, and then it gets easier. But the problem is we end with Texture. And Texture could just drop 40 on you randomly.
Yeah.
So I think this group is – I would argue our group might be the most evenly matched. So I had the toughest group ever last season, right? But that's because you had the 2 finalists and you had, like, you know –
Right.
high-level teams like Gen G had, like, Lockheed. Like, they had the name and they had, like, the – you know? But I think this group is the closest in terms of, like, relative power I can remember.
It's
Every
it's
team,
very tight.
Nongshim, RRQ, us, GE,
Gen G.
Gen G.
Gen G. Yeah.
If they're clicking on all
If they're
cylinders,
clicking.
yeah.
And then whatever.
I think anyone could beat anyone.
Yeah. No, I'm with
Yeah.
you. It's a tough
So
one.
this group is going to be tough. I think, and I genuinely believe this is not me even being like facetious or anything. I think this might actually be because of like everything involved. You know, all the off the game drama, plus the championship points, plus like Nongshim and us vying for like, you know, who's gonna get the point slot. This might be the toughest group because of the
circumstances.
That we've ever been in. So I'm like super excited to see if like practice is gonna translate and like where we're gonna struggle. If we're gonna struggle, are we just gonna destroy everybody? Is it gonna like seem like, oh my God, we don't have paper racks, so now we're chilling? I have no idea. Because I think when things are going too well, that's when I've learned to panic. And things are going way too well right now. So
Okay.
this is gonna be an amazing series to watch. Like,
All right.
like, sorry, an amazing group to watch. I think this is gonna be some of the most entertaining games because of, in theory, if everyone is playing well, there's a lot of teams that can beat each other. Like, you know, the RQGE match is like first game, like. That is a great us and Nongshim first match of the like these week 1 matches are kind of sick, bro.
It's big.
T1 Paper Rex
That's a big
basically
one,
gonna
too.
decide the 1 seed week 1 in theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Opening weekend's
boy, Pacific is a bloodbath, bro.
Oh yeah.
It is. It is. No, and for anyone, I mean, you've probably heard Frost talk on other podcasts or whether, you know, it's on streams or whatnot, but even in private, like this is very different because normally you were pretty confident about the things you're confident in, but for you to come out and say like, no, like obviously you're proud of your team, but man, this group, I mean, that's reason to watch. That's reason to follow this group and this stage because everyone's talking about how things are already decided, you know, the champs points, etc. But this group that's not the case. This group, everything's on the line all the way to the end. So we hope.
Everyone is fighting. Whoever gets the 1 seed can, in theory, basically flip the narrative and become. So, small example: if Nongshim go 2 and 3 again, which I'm not going to. I'm not saying
right,
they are.
but
if they go 2 and 3, they'll have 14 points.
yes,
But if we go 5 and 0 and we go the 1 seed, we'll have 12.
yeah, and so
So,
it's like
and we're already ahead, right? Because we get the bye.
yes,
So we're 1 or 2 games away from getting the 4 points.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just think about that. Like, it's like
it's huge.
this season determines so much
Yeah.
relative to past seasons.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell everyone. Everyone's like, "Oh, Nongshim's chilling." I'm
Crazy
like, no, they're
work.
not, man. Like,
No, they're
Nongshim's
not.
not chilling.
Yes, we are not. Nongshim's not chilling. We're not
You're not
chilling.
chilling.
T1 is not chilling.
Nobody's
No.
chilling.
Hell no.
Only Paper Rex is
GE's not
chilling.
chilling.
He's not. Yeah.
That's it. Paper Rex is chilling.
Yeah,
they are
they
the
are
only ones that could just be like. And by the way, if they win champs, they'll basically be the best team of all time. So there's also
Yeah.
when champs comes, because they play second and second. Gen G, I know, won Shanghai, but they play second. Then they won.
Yeah.
And then obviously the unfortunate, they got group, but they had a group of death, which is like ridiculous too.
Yeah.
But like if you think about it, Paper X is also playing for something too at Champs time. So even though the pressure isn't on Paper X today,
Yes.
actually I would argue they need the 1 seed more than anyone right now, because even though traditionally I don't think the 1 seed matters, and I will be very open with that, the only reason I think the 1 seed matters now is because the team that needs it psychologically is them.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. Because of all the
Because
other pressure
if
that's around him.
Paper X win champs, I would argue if Paper X even make finals, they're probably the best team of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their
But
consistency
for some
is-
people, they won't. Exactly. Some people still won't label them that because I think they just are dumb and don't realize how hard this is.
Sure.
But if they win, they will. I don't even want to hear about 2023 for now. I don't want to hear about anybody. They have this going for them.
Yeah.
They want the 1 seed. They need the 1
Yeah.
seed. Like,
And I think they
trust.
want that. I think they definitely want that. So
Hell
so
yeah.
there's a lot. There's a lot on the
so
line for everybody.
this season is crazy,
fun, man.
crazy.
I can't
yeah,
wait.
I'm
Just a
excited
couple
about
days.
it too.
All
Yeah,
right.
I can't wait for the Nongshim match so much.
Oh,
Oh.
dude, I can. That
I cannot wait.
I'm so mad that we're playing you guys like the first match off of EWC. I'm just like, oh my god, we're
I
just
know.
handing it to FrosT on a platter. I'm not happy about it.
I've been known to choke though. I don't know what it is.
Apparently,
Number 1 choker here, I guess.
so we'll see.
12-11. Let's just 1v1v1 in spawn. Yeah, man. So trust. It can
Oh,
happen.
man. True.
So,
true. You just gotta find the moment.
You know?
All right.
Yeah, man.
Well, thank you so much. Obviously, FrosT, thanks so much for taking time to join us and hop on here. Big time Komodo, as always, thanks for taking time out of your schedules. All of us here, whether we're watch partying, whether you're on the broadcast, whether you're obviously on the matches at the stage, you'll see us all during VCT Pacific Stage 2. So we hope you tune in. And again, we hope you follow the entire story all the way to see who goes to champions out here from Pacific. That's going to be it for this one. And we will catch you all next week here on Perfect Read.